So you want to go drifting? Of course you do. I mean, it seems like such a fun goofing off sport for you and your degenerate friends. I mean, I see you taking extra long in the bathroom so you can scroll Marketplace longer. Them prices ain't looking good, are they? No. Bro, drug dealing doesn't do it anymore, bro. Drug dealers used to have nice cars. You see what they drive nowadays? Bro, you need to work for Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, if you want anything nice. If you don't work for Lockheed Martin and you want something nice, bro, just stop looking. Just give up. Just go to bed. It's over. It's like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. You're just going to have to embrace your inner roadkill on this.
Everyone wants to go drifting nowadays, it seems. Obviously, this is a sport that has been growing in popularity since the bias ply tires of the 60s caused racers to use high slip angles to compensate for lack of grip, leading to one of the first drift competitions hosted by Carboy in 1986. Daijiro, a year after Video Option's inception, created a rival drift event called Ikatan, I don't know, which was hosted by Keiichi. The drivers got better over the years, and there became some collection of professionals, if you will, that consistently dominated the other drivers. So in 2000, they created the Zen Nihon Pro Driftu Sensyuken, or the All Japan Professional Drift Championship, consisting of Keiichi Tsuchiya and Manabu Orito as judges. Being renamed the D1 Grand Prix for round 2, what made this event unique is instead of just judging drivers on solo runs, they did that for qualifying, and then they would pit the drivers on 2v2, switching places lead and chase. In 2003, D1 had its first event outside of Japan in Irwindale, California. How they earned the name House of Drift. Hosted by Slipstream Global, this event was a hit in America and exploded the popularity of the sport, which at the time, in America, was reserved for edgy BMX skater kids that ended up drinking in empty parking lots with their aunt's Mint 240 that they bought for $500. They didn't even want the car for real. The story goes, Slipstream wanted to do it again for 2004. D1 said, nah, I don't want to. Not with y'all bum asses anyways. So they started Formula Drift. The first event was at Road Atlanta, and they even paved the keyhole specifically for the event. The early days of FD were cool because it truly seemed like a true grassroots sport. Kinda. There was big players, but they had to play with the little guys too, like Bubba Drift. The best personification of this is Hubinette in his Viper versus Taka Ano in his Corolla in 2005.
Here we go, Sam and Taka. Takayanu leading the disco lights. Sam all over Taka. Sam aggressive all over him. Woo, Taka pulling away. Nice clipping point. Center of the horseshoe. Is Sam gonna be all over him? Whoa, Taka! He's hanging with the big boys. Low par, Dodge Viper trying to play catch up with the little engine that could. Taka! No thing! I'm gonna talk to Ed here. Who's got the advantage?
Taka has the smallest.
But in this beautiful capitalistic economy we live in, and it's not just us, it's everybody. Because, you know, fucking money. Fuck. I'm gonna ruin everybody's fucking lives for some goddamn fucking money. Anyways, time flies, money flies, greed flies as well. People had 20 years to discover the sport, try to get into it themselves, fail, then either try again or give in. FD is now full of rich white men slapping their energy drink logo on a 1,000 horsepower Mustang, BMW, or GR Super A6 Rolla. So, as you all know by now, I mean, that's the whole reason you clicked on this video, these D cars have gotten pretty expensive. You know, Silvias, Corollas, basically anything rear-wheel drive manual's got a fat tax on it. And admittedly, used car prices are on the decline right now. But these cars in particular saw such an inflation in prices that it doesn't matter. So what options are there for the kid that's changing tires at Firestone? There's Z's and G's, which have been to hell and back on multiple occasions. There's S12s, which are kind of a viable option, but they're showing their age and parts are expensive / hard to find. Z31s are a similar story, but still not a bad choice, and the motor parts are easier to find than S12s, given they put those motors into E21s and Pathfinders and the Fairways Cowboy. Also, you can swap those VG30s into S12s, so RX-8s if you want to fuck with the Renesis stuff, which I'm good. personally, this is the kind of car you swap. I've seen one for sale with a Turbo Lima 2.3 in it. V6 SN95s are solid, and it's a good platform to V8 swap later, but the V6 and 5-speed is enough. I chose these over Foxes because they are cheaper, near the same underneath, and the 3.8 V6 is better than the NA23 for around the same price. Still though, despite the market opening up because these are one of the only cheap rear-wheel drive manual cars left, it's a Mustang, man. I mean, what can I say? I went to high school in a rural area, and these and F-150s were driven by the kind of senior that was, dating freshmen. You feel me? Also, the new Edges are butt fucking ugly. Fight me. I think the SN is a good looking car, but the new Edge ruins it. So despite being a very good choice, personal biases steered me away. Also, I'm avoiding Crown Vics because they don't have enough aftermarket support, making them more expensive in the long run. So that leads me to the Jaguar XJS. I mean the E36/E46. E46s are still cheap and are viable choices, but my personal beef is that's when BMW started introducing a lot more electronics to the cars, like electronic throttles, and therefore more problems for the average marketplace stalker. So the E36 is the obvious answer to me. But TJ, the E36 is way too fucking expensive. What are you smoking, crack? The second one drops in a junkyard, people just emerge from the trees ready to completely strip it then resell the parts. Admittedly, yes, they are on their appreciation curve. But what if I told you the E36 had a bastard child of sorts? And no, I'm not talking about the 318 Ti. I'm talking about the E36 convertible, baby. People hate these for some reason. Probably because the vert is too feminine for your average drift bro, and they tend to weigh more because they need extra structural support, and they tend to leak water and have top issues which lead to mold and then rust. But if you strip the interior, weld in some floorboards, and get comfortable in your sexuality, you will have a solid drift car for cheap that you can pile your friends in, or bicycles perhaps. Admittedly, like any car, it'll need some work. Max peeing rods, a welded 391 diff. If you got a straight 6 4-cylinder, guys, you might want something else. Go ahead and redo all the bushings, front control arms, rear trailing arms, diff and subframe bushings. Get poly ones if you can afford it. Any car you buy will need bushings. Change the Weibo, which is super easy, and forget reinforcing the rear subframe like every other E36 because due to it being a vert, it's already reinforced. From there on, you're ready to slide, but there's more you can do as you progress. Z3 steering rack gives you less turns lock to lock, therefore making the steering quicker. There's plenty of angle kits and roll center correction kits available being an E36. There's plenty of good suspension you can upgrade to later on. They make bolt-in roll bars, although it's a little pricey for me. But verts have factory roll bars that you can force deploy to pass tech sometimes, depending on the guy. I wouldn't trust them with my life, though. All right, so don't think of them like that. The M40 series engines are reliable and leave the front end light, making the car nimble. The straight sixes have plenty of power and don't spoil the handling too bad. The M50 is a strong motor that's slightly weaker in stock form, but likes boost. The M52 isn't as acceptable to boost, but in stock form is better. They're all reliable. They're all good motors. They take a solid beating. I mean, the ZF transmissions are great and can handle some power upgrades stock, which is like awesome. So you can like throw a turbo on your car and like not have to worry about your transmission. The ZF will be fine. The GetRag is more than strong enough for a starter car, but ZFs tend to be a little beefier as far as I know. So I might as well tell you about my car. It's a 96 328i convertible. It's been through hell and back. Previously owned by a takeover kid. Bought it off of Facebook. He was asking $2,000 for a car that turned on but needed a clutch. Get there, car won't turn on. We're sitting there cranking it, won't turn on, right? I'm right there. I'm like, I'll give you $1,400 for this like car that had been ratted out. Like the windows had been busted out, like even the back window. It had a new top in it, and the fucking back plastic window had already been busted out. Like just been sitting out in the rain like that. It was a piece of shit. I was like, I'll give you $1,400. He's like $1,500. I bought the car because I was desperate for a fucking drift car, right? Get a tow truck, get it home, put a battery in it, turns on for a couple seconds and then dies. I'm like, okay. I pull the coils and I find in between like where the coil goes to the spark plug, that little hole full of water on cylinder number 5. So I'm like, immediately I'm like, oh, I fucked up. Hop on Beamer forums. They're like, hey, if you run your engine without that stupid ass plastic beauty cover on top, which it was off, and leave the car sitting outside in the rain, which had definitely been sitting outside in the rain for a while, water is going to get specifically into that spot. So I get some paper towels, soak it all up, go on Facebook Marketplace, give me some S52 coils, throw that on the car, and it turned on. It ran. I turned it on and I revved it, and then I put a clutch in it, drove it up and down the street, fucked up the clutch knob. That was my fault. Did it again, ran fine. Started trying to daily it. To be fair, I did like the rear subframe diff and trailing arm bushings already when I welded the diff, right? I also did that when I was doing the clutch job. But it needed front control arm bushings too, which I was not aware of, and that shit was fucked up.
Bro, you cannot drive this whole bro.
No, I'm well.
Leave it in the shop.
I was driving it like that. It was kind of fucked up. But get that done, get poly bushings, right? And the car ripped. Took it to the track. It was awesome. We didn't have a lot of angle, and I was bad at driving it because, it's my first drift car. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone to track maybe like 3 times. But, here we are. It rips. It does what it needs to do. And it's been on some daily duties, too. It's a reliable car. I can't hate on it. And really, the previous owner, I feel like, treated it as a thought experiment. Like, how much can I fuck up this car and keep it running? Like the wiring head to toe, front to back is completely fucking destroyed. I got sub cables as goddamn battery cables, bro. They're not even thick sub cables. They're like some motherfucking 8 gauge or some shit. Ridiculous, bro. The dash flickers and all that shit. The gauges come on and off. The radio randomly starts and stops working. Only one of my tweeters really works anyways. Like, my fucking window regulators don't work. And no, I don't have door panels, obviously. I don't have any interior besides seats and a dashboard that has blown out airbags, even though I've never fucking crashed the car. I was giving a coworker a ride home when blast hit him right in the fucking face, dude. Where is it? Where's the panel at? Ah, there it is. That shit smacked him right in the fuck. She's a piece of shit, but she gets me to the track and she gets me to rip. All right, and that's all you need. And like, I bought the car for $1,500. I don't know. I might have put anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in it. All right, and that includes like tires and fucking everything, taking it to the track, and I'm in $2,500 for a car. Right, a drift car. That's pretty solid nowadays. I feel that's pretty solid. And you gotta get over it being ratty and fucking ugly, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. This is a video about cheap drift cars. This isn't a video about fucking pretty drift cars, okay? And the plan is to make it pretty eventually, but that takes goddamn money. Alright? So here we are. With a ratty ass drift car that gets me to the track when the axles aren't broken, which they're currently broken. And the moral of this story is, because I didn't really teach you anything here, but just fucking go out and do it. There's a million reasons why you wouldn't go buy a drift car. There's a million reasons why you shouldn't. There's a million reasons why it's a bad idea. There's a million reasons, maybe not right now, right? But just fucking go get something, man. Who gives a fuck what it is? Go buy a Ford Ranger. Go fucking buy a Mark A. Lincoln. Just go buy something and go slide it and go have fun with yourself, bro. Spend your money while you're young.
You're good. Keep going. You're good.